Hey, you're here. Another episode, March 2025. Get it, Shyla? Yes, yes. Shyla, oh my gosh, it was a pleasure meeting you in Dubai, girl. You are a force to be reckoned with as you are in the ring with fellow C-suite members that you've had in your past. Now you're a co-founder. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Please introduce yourself to our listening audience.
Thank you so much, Tish. I'm so happy to meet you again. And thank you so much for having me here today. So, I am Shyla Krishnamurthy. I am a lifepreneur working on people welfare since my childhood. I have had over 20 years of experience in the IT and telecom industry, worked in diverse and multicultural geographies, but I'm very, very passionate about transforming people into better and stronger version of themselves. And that's when I co-founded my company, Twamway Global Services, with a resolve to turn my passion into reality by enabling people transformation. And I have an innate urge to work with women
Yes, me
and
too.
so I coach them to recognize and nurture their identity, their authentic self, work on their capabilities, their inherent skills, their power skills that they're born with, right? And get all the visibility and credibility that they deserve. So I do work with a lot of women, young girls, professionals, leaders, starters, restarters. So my coaching journey has been very heartfelt, interesting, and very, very satisfying.
Absolutely. I will never forget at the final panel and how you stood up and just expressed your culture and being, a divorcee, a single mother, the breadwinner, and taking care of all that God has given you to taking care of with work, home, and you're juggling it all as a single woman, successful woman. And I just tip my hat off literally to you for all the wonderful things you are doing here
Thank you.
in
Thank you
Central
so much.
Ocean. So the first question is, what inspired you to pursue entrepreneurship? And what were some of the key challenges you faced as a female co-founder in the early stages?
Tish, as a child, I remember running to the terrace of my grandmother's house and just lying there and staring at the sky and always daydreaming,
I love
right? I would always think and, say to myself and say to people whenever I'm asked that I don't want to do a 9 to 5 job.
exactly,
But
exactly.
at the end of the day, for our livelihood, we end up doing it, which is still okay, right? But I always wanted to do something on my own, be the boss of whatever I'm passionate about, right? So this was there, from my childhood days, and through my corporate experience in Europe and in India, I realized no matter what. Right? No matter what hierarchical level you're in, you always end up doing people management.
Absolutely.
And to manage people, you need to manage yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I worked almost 11 years of my life in Germany, and then I went back to India for a couple of years due to some personal reasons. I went back with my son, and I continued my journey as a single mom. And I had a culture shock in my own country, unfortunately. I had to find that sense of belonging,
Yeah.
right, after staying outside for so many years.
Mhm.
And that's when I took that leap of faith, decided to start my own coaching and training company, did various coaching certifications, licenses, and there was no looking back after that.
I love it.
So yeah, as a female co-founder, of course, you're right, when you talk about challenges, especially when you have responsibilities back home, right? It's not easy to step out there and do things on your own, right? And to a larger extent, it is a men's world. We got to agree with that, right?
It
No matter
is.
which
It is. They
part
have
of the
songs
world,
about it.
yeah,
It's
which part of the
men.
world you're in.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right. So it's been quite challenging that way, especially when I started off. I had to do a lot of, firstly, I had to attend a lot of events, right? Make time and, just go there, meet people, meet like minded people, talk about what you do, what you're interested in, get to know their challenges, their issues, and try to see, where I fit in.
Mhm.
Right. So that was quite a big challenge. Um, and then, especially as a coach, when you end up working with people, you have to gain their trust
Yes,
first, right? And gaining that trust is not easy.
it's not.
It takes a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I had to invest all my time, my focus, my energy into it. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And then since I was in India, I had my parents and they supported me immensely. They were there to take care of my son. So I didn't have to
Oh,
worry about that.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was the best part where I could focus on whatever I wanted to do, and yeah. So that's how my journey started. It just inspired me, and I was just looking at other women. Right, I think we all kind of face very similar challenges, no matter what part of the world we are in.
I would
Right?
agree. I would
So that's yeah, absolutely. So that's when I wanted to, just do something on my own, start my coaching and training practice, work with people, work with professionals, and especially work with women, and just be there for them.
absolutely. May God bless your parents for allowing you that time, be laser focused in your work so that you can have
Yeah,
your whole village to help you out. That's
yeah. That
so
that
awesome.
support is so important.
That community is so awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so much
yeah.
for that question. How have your experience as an entrepreneur influenced your work as an executive coach? Have you, by any chance, inspired any other women to pick up the mantle to think about entrepreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. So, firstly, let me talk about my inspiration.
Hmm.
So, my inspiration has been my mom.
Awesome.
Uh, so she started working at the age of 16, right? She was taking tuitions at home, and then she started working as a teacher. She continued doing a lot of things, and she was just there for the family and people, outside the family, her friends, everyone, right? All her acquaintances. So she has been my inspiration, firstly.
That's
And yeah, and that has had an immense influence on my life. And my mom, always tells me that you need to have a very good intent, a very good purpose, no matter what you do in life, right? No matter who you are and where you are. Yeah.
that's
So that kept me going.
shout out to
And
Mama. That's awesome.
yeah, and we're all emotional beings, right? And we play different roles in life, but it's so important for all of us to have that humanistic approach,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And as an entrepreneur, you're the queen, you're the maid. You end up doing everything,
absolutely.
right?
You
A
have to
to
be
Z.
payroll, accounting,
A to Z. So
marketing.
that's when you absolutely. So that's when you end up, learning about leadership qualities, decision making, resilience, problem solving, time management, all of that, right? And when you transition into a coach, whether you're a leadership coach, executive coach, you bring that first hand experience,
Yes,
right, from your own narratives that you have, and of course you can give that practical examples to facilitate other leaders to come up with their own solutions. Yeah. And if I have to specifically mention a few things, one is of course resilience and adaptability. That's so important, all of
critical.
us, right? We need to really so for me resilience is just isn't just about not failing anytime. It is more about standing up tall and rising higher,
Yeah.
right, after every fail or every failure, every falter that you have had, right? So and then being able to adapt to new situations, to new people, that's so important. And this is one of the qualities of a leader, which I try to enable whenever I talk to other leaders, of course. And empathy, as I said, as emotional beings,
Got
we
to
all need to
have
have that
empathy.
empathy. Yeah,
Yes. But
it's so
your
important.
clients are not gonna they're not going to want to continue working with you if you don't
Right,
care or
right.
can feel what they're going through. So empathy is so, so critical for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as a coach, I focus more on self development and behavioral change, which will automatically work on your leadership skills as well.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So, that is one of the things I work on. This will always help leaders to define their own leadership skill. Right. And yeah. I mean, if required, they'll have to refine as well with whatever intention and purpose they have and continue. So, this has been my mantra, you can say.
Absolutely. And there's a consistency. I interviewed
Yeah.
Piju and Obi from
Yeah.
Dubai as well, and they mentioned the same thing, from the
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
Once you have those skills, they're transferable, right? So if
Yes.
you're a
Yes.
strong
Yes.
individual personally, you will be a strong individual professionally. So I
Absolutely.
completely concur with your curriculum and how you've set things up to
Yeah,
assist your
yeah. I
clients.
think this is applicable to both men and women,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what we also experienced in one of the conferences in Dubai when we met, right? How things are so similar when it comes to leadership qualities, right? But sometimes we have those inherent skills within us which we need to nourish and keep growing.
Absolutely. In your experience, how can women navigate and thrive in environments where they may not always be represented at the top? So they may be a loner in that C suite, or, that loner middle level manager, depending on what
Yeah,
country they're in. How
yeah,
can
yeah.
you help navigate them?
Yeah. This question is so relatable, Tish, I think to me and you and everyone else.
Yes, yes.
Right? I think it's common across all women professionals and leaders all over the world, right? Who are always striving and thriving to, find a place, work on their capabilities, their achievements. But one important thing, that I focus on for myself and also other women I work with is voicing out what is okay, what is not okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? It's so important, right? What are these challenges, how it has to be dealt with, yeah? And voicing out your opinions, you got to speak. It
Yes,
doesn't matter if your voice is shaking, your legs are
yes,
trembling, you have
yes,
to speak,
yes.
right? Yeah, if not, who else will do that for you?
That's right. Nobody
Right?
will.
Yeah, it's so important. And owning your confidence.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So even when you doubt it, sometimes
Absolutely.
you will not be completely ready, right? But still, you gotta go out there and just be there, step up for yourself,
Do
right?
it
And
scared
then
anyway. Do it scared anyway.
absolutely, and then confidence will follow. It will grow. It will build on once you act upon things, right? So that has been one of the things. And if I have to mention another important thing, I think we're all in this digital space right now. So reachability has become very easy,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
one of the key things that we need to work on is visibility. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Out
especially
there.
for women,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Finding your own place, making things work for you, firstly, finding your own identity and also getting that recognition for who you are and what you do. That's so important. Right. And I think with all this, when we work on ourselves, one of the most important things that we need to work on is also building that tribe. Yeah,
Hmm.
for ourselves, building that allies. I think coming from both men and women.
Yes.
Yeah. So recently, one of the events that I attended in Paris for International Women's Day, I was so happy to see a few men as well who were present there. Right.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
who
Tell
who
me more.
supported who supported women, and they were just there, right, talking about what best they can do. Yeah. And this kind of allyship is so important, right? And whenever I attend these events, I take my son as well along with me. You know that
Nice.
you've met
I
him.
do know. Yes. He's lovely. Yes.
Right, so he's also learning, right, what is this equality or equity all
Yes.
about,
Yes.
right? When we talk about men's world and women's world when it comes to leadership or entrepreneurship. So yeah, so I mean, I would just like to mention one of the initiatives that I have started here, considering this whole thing, which is called Powerful.
Powerful.
So,
I
yeah,
love it. Her HER.
yes,
Yeah.
with HER. And this is where, this is like a safe space for all women to get together, share their narrative, share their stories, their failure stories, their success stories, and just inspire each other, uplift each other, empower one another.
Yes.
So this is what I've been working on, and yeah, this is so important. I think for all of
It's
us. Yeah,
critical. If I can say, Shyla, you really just shifted the atmosphere when you mentioned being in Paris and having gentlemen at
yeah,
the event being
yeah.
allies. That is, there are a lot of changes happening in the US of A. Yesterday, I attended a job fair to provide opportunities for individuals who were laid off from the government. And to have men at the table in Paris cheering you all on, saying, "How can I help? I'm here for you." I do have a client in the Northeast. She is an attorney. And
Mm-hmm.
just, as she has had change in her leadership, as she navigate the space. She is a person of color, and I'm grateful that one of her mentors was a male who
Yeah,
nominated her for
amazing.
uh,
Yeah,
a, 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 a mentorship program. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter if it's male, if it's female, if that person is supporting you, if they're sponsoring you, if
absolutely.
they are blazing the trail for you to follow them so that you
Right,
can achieve your next. That's
right.
that. So kudos to
Yeah,
those gentlemen that attended. Another
yeah.
organization I'm a part of last Thursday, we had our International Women's Recap from
Mm-hmm,
California to Vegas,
mm-hmm,
Atlanta, here in Maryland.
mm-hmm,
And it's just blown
mm-hmm,
away at just how the women, how powerful it is. Like,
mm-hmm.
powerful that
Yeah,
tribe, that community that you
yeah,
started. It's
yeah,
just, it's amazing being in the space with such amazing women that are
yeah.
fearless, pursuing their dreams, no matter what happens. If they fall down, bruise their knees, they're still pushing forward. It's just so inspiring.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like how we mentioned last time, right? When we met in the Dubai conference, it's 2025, and we are still talking about women empowerment,
Yes,
right? And there is a strong reason behind it.
yes,
Yeah, it is just not about women's power, women's leadership, and all that, right? But we are talking about it because there is a stark difference.
yes.
Right? So
There's a
that's the reason. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still a lot more to do. We
so
will.
much to do, and we are making a change. So keep up the
Yeah.
great work. As a mentor and coach, what advice do you often give to aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly women looking to lead in their fields?
So here I would like to mention my personal story. Okay, very interesting. You'll see why. So my ex, whenever I was living with him, he would always point out and call me a zero.
No,
Okay. Yeah, so I have this weird sense of visualization, okay, which is so strong, right? I tend to turn all of those things into a positive picture, right?
great.
So
Yes,
whenever the person would call me zero, I would always prefix it with CE, zero. So that would be
I love
CEO.
it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
I would be like, no, I'm definitely better than this. You will see me, one day as
Yes.
a CEO of my own life, right? Living my life on my own terms, right? So this is one thing that has kept me going. So one of the things that I would like to mention as a mentor, as a coach, right, to every aspiring entrepreneur, particularly women, is believe in yourself,
Yes.
right? You're so much better than what you actually think you are.
Yes.
It's so important, especially for women when we step into leadership roles, right? We always feel we need to be 100% ready,
Yes.
right? But the truth is, no one is fully
Never
ready,
ready. Yes.
right? We're all a work in progress. Yeah.
Correct.
So we need to take that leap, and then confidence will follow. That's
Yeah.
so important,
Yeah.
right? And the second thing I would like to mention is you need to comfortable with taking risk in
Yeah.
life. These risks
Absolutely.
are so important, right? You need to be comfortable with being vulnerable,
Mhm.
showing your imperfect side. Yeah,
Yes.
many of my friends and people from my inner circle who know me very well, they know I'm a big risk taker.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I just don't stop myself, right? So it's like it's so important for you to just keep going, believe in yourself, just keep going, right? And you need to reframe a lot of things that goes on. We do get these negative thoughts, but keep reframing it and just keep going, right? No matter what. That's so important. So for me, as a woman, no matter what different roles I play as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a working professional, it's so important for me to work on my own positives.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
consider them. Of course, we are imperfect, we need to work on ourselves and all that, but you also need to focus on things where you just keep moving forward, right, by taking those steps even though they are risky. So for me, I don't have any regrets in life
Neither do
because
I.
I
I
have
know.
absolutely. So I have taken decisions thinking what was best at that point in time,
Correct. Correct.
right? Whether I have succeeded or I have failed, I have just, I have just kept, going, and there was absolutely no looking back. So this is so important. And one of the last things I would like to mention, which I cannot emphasize enough, this is like a self reminder for me as well, is self care,
Oh my
taking care of ourselves.
yes. I'm looking at your nails. I'm like, ooh, that's such a pretty purple. Self-care is the best care. I need to get mine
Right?
done.
So, physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, in every way possible. This is like it's not like I have figured it all out, right? I still have to work on a lot of things myself, but I keep reminding myself, Shaila, you need to take care of yourself. It's so important. Only when you're okay, only when you're happy, you can keep others happy. You can keep your responsibilities going,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, believe in yourself, be
Mhm.
comfortable in taking risks, and take care of yourself.
I would like to be vulnerable and share since you've shared, because I
Yeah.
too am a divorcee.
Okay.
And
Okay. Okay.
it's so interesting, when I was preparing, we talked about having children. And in the marriage, it's like, man, I don't think I want to do that. And it's like, okay, we went our separate ways. But it's so awesome. This past Friday, there was a gala, and I connected with one of the moms. You know, her daughter's going to be going on a trip next week, this coming week, the 20th, to Greece. And I'm just like, wow. I have not given birth yet in the physical, but I've definitely been able to touch so many children's, young women, even women's lives. No matter
Right.
what anyone thinks about me in terms of motherhood, God
Yeah.
has still
Yeah.
allowed me to
Yeah.
be that young lady who have touched so many, so many. So it's all about reframing. It's all about loving yourself. You have to
Yeah.
be the biggest cheerleader, whether someone likes you anymore or not. You still have to love yourself
Yeah.
forever and put that
Absolutely.
pour into yourself. Continue walking confident with your held head high. And, like you said, we may have made mistakes, but we made the best decision with the information that we had at the time. Should
Right.
we had different
Right.
information, we would have made different choices. But that doesn't
Right.
mean that anything is wrong with us. We're still awesome. We're still pushing forward. And I believe
Yeah.
in my experience, I am even better because of it. I can
Right.
minister and encourage women who have, been in the experiences that we have encountered. So good for you. And you
Absolutely.
are that
Kudos to
amazing
you, Tish.
CEO. Thank you.
I
Thank
still
you.
remember when I was on that stage as part of the panel discussion, the way you were cheering me, and it was amazing.
Girl,
Felt,
I
felt so
had
good.
to. It was that was like unreal. But I shout out to Rachel. I'm like, Rachel, come over here. We may be the last panel. We may be talking about ladies in the workspace, but we deserve the same equality as all
Right,
the other
right,
panels, you know? So,
right.
and that's
Yeah.
why for International Women's Day, I had to shout everybody out on that post in LinkedIn. It was just
Oh,
that we
that
need
was
to have the
so
international
sweet.
sisterhood,
Yeah.
you know? Yes. This is so good. The next question asks, let's see. I think you covered that one in terms of reframing when they are stuck or unsure. Let's see. This is a good one. In your experience, what are the most common leadership misconceptions? And how do you get them? It's kind of similar to shift their paradigm.
Okay, so again, as a leader, I believe that you got to be a human first.
Yes. Not a robot, but a human.
Right? Because leadership is a learned skill, right? It's a skill that can be developed. You can work on it day in and day out, right? And you can be learning and adapting continuously. Yeah. So as a leader, you have to be yourself. You have to be a part of your team. You have to be with your team, right? Take responsibilities for yourself and your team. No blame games, right? Yeah, because sometimes this might work, on a short-term basis, which might kind of boost your ego as a leader if you point out fingers and blame at others. But in the long run, no, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose your position. You're going to lose your, people as well,
Yes.
right? So one of the biggest myths that I have come across whenever I have worked with other leaders, right, as a part of organization or as a part of my coaching practice, whenever I meet other leaders, they think that they have to be aggressive to be taken seriously,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think this works for both men and women, but of course, mostly men, right? Because that always works. I mean, no, to a larger extent, which is so wrong. It just doesn't, sit well at all,
It actually
right?
reflects insecurities. You know,
Right.
in some
Exactly.
families as well, I find some may just have difficulties with conflict. You know,
Right.
just because there's a
Right.
conflict that appears doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's a bad
Yeah.
thing. We can grow
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
conflict. Mhm.
Absolutely. So you cannot be too dominant and try to be aggressive, try to be forceful, right? And have that know-it-all attitude. It just doesn't work,
It doesn't.
right? Again, end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all emotional beings,
Yes.
right? So it's so important to have those leadership styles where we are more collaborative, we are more empathetic,
Yes.
right? Having that humanistic approach. Yeah. So like you mentioned, I think this paradigm shift that we all need in both men and women is so important,
Mhm.
right? And I think when it comes to women leaders, um, I think we're often criticized for being either too soft or too tough.
Yes. Yes. Got to find that middle. Hmm.
Right? So the key here is to be more authentic,
Yes.
right? To be more to focus on yourself,
Mhm.
right? To focus on your own strengths, your areas of improvement, and show who you are as an individual, and
Mhm.
of course align with your values as well, right? So these kind of leadership styles will definitely go way forward, and it's so important for all of us to think in these ways, so that we are more human first,
Mhm.
and then we are leaders, and then we will see how to rule the world. So
Yeah.
it's a journey. Leadership is a journey,
For
right? So
sure.
it just goes on. Yeah.
I find it so critical to be self aware, to know what your areas of weaknesses are, to know your style. If you're
Yeah.
aggressive, it's
Yeah.
not okay, but it's important that you know that you are and
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
how to counteract that. What are some strategies that you can do? You have to know to thine own self be true. And so if you have more of a choleric temperament, that upper left brain temperament, in battle, That's a strength. And so even in corporate, there is a space for that. But knowing that's what you bring, to know how to pull it back and how to use it for its strength, and not to be so sharp that you're cutting others and affecting
Right.
others on the team. So
Right.
self-awareness, so critical.
So yeah, so critical, and I think that will also, motivate and encourage other people, right, within the organization, and yeah, they would want to be a part of the organization and work towards the organizational success if it comes in a proper way. Yeah.
So, two more questions and we will be wrapping it up. Looking back, is there anything you wish you had done differently in your career? I know you said that there were no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets for sure, right? But I would definitely like to mention two of the things. If I have to look back and probably not change anything about it, probably do it. I should have, considered and done it, in a different way, probably. One of the things is, I think earlier in my career, right? Whether I have worked as part of organization or when I started my coaching practice, I didn't advocate for myself sooner,
Wow,
right?
wow,
We
that's
think
surprising.
self, yeah, because we always think self advocacy is boasting. It is not boasting.
Not at all.
You have to talk about, what you do, right? What you're bringing to the table,
Yes.
right? How are you adding value? It's an essential part of being an entrepreneur or a leader,
Mhm.
right? So it's so important that you talk about yourself, talk about your journey, talk about how you can be there for others. What is your vision? What is your mission? All of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think this is something that I should have started quite early, but it's okay. Better late than
Yes, you're doing
never.
it now. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things as an entrepreneur, right? Of course, on the personal level, I had my parents' support back in India. But as an entrepreneur, what happens is you're the queen, you're the maid, right? You end up
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
everything, like I
Mhm.
said, right?
I love the
So
analogy.
we all yeah, so we all think, yeah, we are super women. Yeah, we definitely are, but it's so important to seek support, to
Yes.
seek that much needed support,
Yes.
right? Having somebody who can mentor you, who can sponsor, who can be there, or if not anything, just be there to to listen to you.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just want to be heard,
Yes.
right? And you also need to go out there and seek that support. Sometimes people will not come to you. You need to open doors for yourself, right? So yeah, maybe these two. Of course, it's not about having regrets, but yeah, we could have started it a lot earlier.
Yes, yes. I just want to shout out Sheena Sapala in one of the
Yeah,
teams that I am on. She encouraged the
yeah,
women to get
yeah,
nannies, to get
yeah,
assistants, so
yeah,
that they can, focus on the greatest part of their business that they want to pour in, because we only have how many hours in a day. We love our children, we want to give them the best, and it's just a
yeah,
lot trying to do both you know
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just really great sound counsel. How can our listening
Absolutely.
audience, if there was one takeaway you would like for them to remember from our interview, what would it be?
Um, Definitely believe in yourself and dare to take risks
Yeah.
and keep going. No matter what, you need to definitely get up, dress up, and show up.
Yes, get up,
Right?
dress up, and show up like we did this morning.
Yeah,
I knew it was in the afternoon there in Central England. It was
yeah.
such an honor and pleasure. This is the beginning of many times I can sit at your feet. You have so many amazing stories. We share so much in common. You still share the name of my cousin, Shyla Jones.
That's
Shout out to
so
Shyla.
sweet.
Yes. So tell your son I said hi.
For sure. For sure.
Shine with
Yeah.
Tish. Thanks for listening to another episode. Until next time, keep
Thank you.
shining. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so
Ciao.
much.
Indeed.